Hi, old beaver! Away!
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Critscast. Wondering who will be the final two, and as always, it is two familiar faces in this winner-takes-all game. In one corner is the defending champions, Super Dickmann's KANNONEN, but challenging them are top seeds, Feila eSports. They are the top seed and have the map advantage going into this tie, making it very, very interesting. I am CJ, and I am joined tonight by Dave. This is going to be a good one, right, Dave?
I really hope so. I mean, we have SDCK, who are 7 times champions, and we have Feila eSports, who are 7 times runners-up. The key thing for Feila is that a lot of these players are very, very new. I mean, we're going to look at the kind of numbers of officials that they've played. And if you look at the comparison, everyone on SDCK has over 100 ETF2L officials, and with Feila, some of them have as low as I think 17. Yeah, we're looking at this first map. It's going to be upwards. If we want to go through the pick bans. We saw that SDCK, they banned their classic first kind of ban that they always do. It was product. I don't think they've ever played that map in playoff games. They always ban it first.
Not a fan of Koth, I feel.
So we're going to have Upward was the pick from Feila. Vigil was the first pick from SDCK. They then decided to ban the Koth maps that they played each other week 2. So the ones that they lost respectively, Coal Plant and Warmtick, they each decided to ban. So we're going to have a Steel decider. So it's going to be Upward, then Vigil, and then Steel will be the decider.
If you're just joining us, this is the grand final of ETF2L Season 23. This is the Premiership division, the best of the best, the two top teams, top seed Feila eSports going up against defending champions Super Dickmann's KANNONEN. This is going to be a best of 3, and we'll be having best of 3 on each map tonight. First map is Upward. We can take a look at the SDCK roster here. On Scout, we have May, Jackie Legs is our Soldier, Yahoo on Pyro, Murphy on Demo, Sandburn on Heavy, Clark Engineer, Gedu will be the Medic, Kaza will be on the Sniper, and Mezzo will be on Spy. Dave, do you want to tell me who their opponents are?
So for Feila, we have BB on Scout, Satan on Soldier, Grip on Pyro, we have Newcastle's finest Joe on Demoman, the Heavy will be Poi, Engineer bringing the wrench from North America will be Lilypad, Layla on Medic, we have Kuroi on Sniper and Axio on Spy.
It's going to be a big one. Feila in the blue, they'll be attacking first, and SDCK in the red will be defending and then trying to beat that time. It will be a best of 3 on Upward, and same on Vigil. As the first casualty of this grand final is going to be Joe as he gets taken down by Kaza, getting that first pick for the logs. And actually quite a few people getting picked off here. Satan, Axio all getting caught out, but Mezzo does lose his little perch there, and he's going to be able to communicate to his team really what's going on this side. And as you can see, in classic Feila style, doesn't matter who's died, everyone else is starting to walk forward and just getting that pressure down. Gedu actually takes a lot of damage there, Dave, and they're just getting so much pressure for free. They get the force!
Yeah, just the force come out, lots and lots of spam from Joe. Degu was kind of caught in a really bad position, didn't want to kind of rotate through the sightline, but just took a load of spam from, I think it was mainly just Joe, spamming down those stickies and pipes onto the tracks, get the force out with only just kind of that solo pressure.
It's crazy, as Layla is already out. They've used very, very early here, and Murphy is just going to get absolutely grilled to death. He does pick out points. That's a pretty good exchange, and Mezzo's going to get a couple of backstabs. Sentry and Kawhi both going down. Layla gets cleaned up as well. Mezzo takes on the Sentry with his revolver too, and Sandburn is going to start gunning down and taking names as well. This is just a DM fight right now, but Sandburn will be happy to just trade his life for all of those kills. Dave, how? A huge uber advantage for Feila, and they end up losing their medic, and they don't get close to Gedu there.
That was remarkable confidence from SDCK. They held that as if it was completely even Ubers. All their players were forward, they had the gun there, no one was looking to get out. They just absolutely held their ground, and they just walked into a brick wall that Uber could do nothing. But now we see lots and lots of aggression from Feila. Players are going down, they're having to scuttle out of here. We see Jackie Legs and Yahoo out, but Degu couldn't get out. Now there's again a large Uber advantage for Feila.
Yeah, that was a huge shot there by Koroi. Takes down the medic, and that's huge. As we can see, Jackie Legs goes in for the bomb. Just doesn't quite have the space, the time, or the HP to get anything onto Layla. She's at 90% right now, and because of that, as the respawns just start coming in for SDCK here, they know that they can't contest. If they start to show their faces through the door, then they're just going to get Ubered onto.
Yes, but yeah, the cap is definitely going to go down for Feila here, and you'll see SDCK set up on third.
Yep, as the unpause happens now, and you can see Mezzo going in, getting some pressure onto Layla, but she holds on, does not use that Uber. Oh no, this... Wow, okay, does get forced this time around. A little bit of extra damage, taking a very, very low there. Doesn't drop the Uber. Joe trying to go forward and get some stickies onto this ramp, but look at this from Clark. He's got that aggressive sentry that he likes to have on this third point. Pulls it back now. Joe down, job done. And Jackie Legs is also down. So that high control will be a bit difficult on the balcony point. Starting to take that space for himself now. And actually Satan playing a little bit of pocket, just trying to get some heals and just spam forward. But SDCK, they're the ones with the advantage now, Dave. And it's up to Feila to be the ones to try and make something happen here. As they do get the force on to get in. They're going to be using it onto May going forward. But I don't think they're going to get much with it.
May is chasing super deep. He's on to Joe and Layla, but he does get burnt down by Grip, so good screening there from the Pyro coming in to save the combo. We see now BB getting a little bit aggressive, but just a little bit of skirmishing here right now. Still lots and lots of good position from SDCK. They really have this kind of trademark aggressive hold on third that you don't see a lot of other teams manage to pull off. Clark has moved his sentry gun back a bit now, but there's no cart time for Feila just yet.
Yeah, that cart, during all of that, Layla's gone down. Uber advantage for Gedu. Sunburn is just on the respawn, or Koroi getting a headshot there onto Yahoo. So no Pyro, and that's going to mean BB's going to get a little bit of time on this cart. Look at this. Joe wants to get the pressure onto the cart. They want to get it up to that first round, which they've managed to do now pretty much for free. SDCK do not have an Uber just yet. And that means that they can't really go forward. They have now, and Zambit's going to take a bunch of it, do a bunch of damage. He's going to try and chase through main here. And actually, they're playing so close to the cart. Satan, Boy, they've all gone down here. So is the sentry gun, but Joe's going to clean up. Mezzo comes in behind, gets caught out just in time by Grip. Will not manage to get his knife into the back of Layla. And Goroi is slowly but surely starting to get some kills here. 4th kill in a row is going to take down another player, but Joe is dead, and that may be stunting the push here, Dave. Feila are just going forward regardless of how many players they're alive.
They are moving the cart here very, very nicely. We saw Murphy couldn't get involved in that Uber. Now that Uber's coming in from Feila, it just looks like a bit of a space maker. We are seeing Satan go forward. He might pick up Kazarok. Kazarok goes really, really low, but does manage to get the health back. And they do have all the position they require now. In fact, they're rushing the stairs really, really fast.
Oh, that's a mistake. They're feeding the players now, and Layla's going to get body shot by Kaza. I would have said if they just chilled for a little bit there, kept their medic safe, things might have been okay. Gedu has used the Uber, and they've not really got anything with it. Maybe they're just trying to clear out the top, make sure everyone's safe and sound. And based on the respawns, once you've captured that third point, you're attacking respawns up pretty quick. So it's equal Ubers here, and that's going to mean Feila are going to quite happily try and dry push this. Mezzo gets caught out trying to sneak underneath. Jackie Legs is just in a place he does not want to be right now. But the heavy versus heavy battle will be won by Sandberg. But Murphy, Kaz are both going down here. Gedu is going to get chased on the low ground, and he gets taken down as well. They're just Wing in.
That was crazy. Degu jumped out of the window, committed to cart. Now it's a real scramble around the cart. Sunburn's not in a great position to fight it right now. Layla is going to put the heels on the cart. BB melts everyone down. Grips on the cart, gets the air blast in. Mezzo comes, great air blast there from Grip, and he gets the cart.
That's huge. Sandburn was on the low ground just trying to kill the people pushing it, and there were other people blocking it, but Grip with the air blast, that Pyro just able to push the people away, just get himself an inch of space to get the cart in. That's going to be 6 minutes flat, Dave. How are you rating that for a time?
That is a strong time on Upwards. I mean, definitely, it's certainly beatable. I'd say it's almost like just about an average time at the very, very top level. But certainly, I think, based on what we saw on that first point with that real first fight going so badly from Feila, they really recovered. I mean, multiple times we saw them also wipe on that last point. Grip just about came in, got that force, and you know, every time it looked like Feila were going to struggle, they just rebounded instantly, and 6 minutes is a very decent time.
Very decent time. SDCK are probably going to be the ones under the pressure here. You know, they're the ones thinking, okay, we have to beat this 6 minute time. Otherwise, that first round in this final will go to Feila eSports. There's a lot of TF2 to be played here, of course. This is going to be a best of 3 on Upward, as well as a best of 3 in maps. So this is a marathon, not a sprint. But getting a head start is very, very important. But both to get it on the scoreboard, but also mentally. Feila really could get under their skin here, as Kuroi is going to get the first kill of this phase, taking down Sunburn with a headshot. But Axio gets caught out, so again, no satellite spy being able to give a little bit of information as the Pyro jetpack is in, trying to get some damage down onto people, but Poi gets down to 8 HP, lives. Nothing really happening there for SDCK on that suicide wave.
I've played SDCK quite a few times on Upward, and they are remarkable in how kind of coordinated their suicide players are. Generally, as a medic, you feel pretty safe on this Upward first, that you're not going to get picked off. But Jackie Legs and Murphy and SDCK in general, their aggression is so good that you always have to be a bit more worried when you play against these guys. But in fact, they're going to go for an Uber trade super early. Murphy going quite deep. It's Yahoo, in fact, who goes onto the top to control that. He's going to get a pick on flank as well. So a lot of frags really traded in both directions.
Yeah, that's really smart from SDCK. The biggest thing about TF2, whether you're playing 6s, Highlander, or even 4v4, is adaptation. And Poi went down there, maybe not the biggest pick, but not having a heavy on that first point means there's a lot of HP off the battlefield, as SDCK is still trying to push it, but Yahoo will get headshot there by Kuroi and just slow that cliff push a little bit as the cart starts to get pushed forward. But taking an Uber trade when you've got just that little man advantage can be helpful. Big stab from Mezzo takes down Kuroi. So Layla down to 50 HP there, Dave.
Exact same second, Axio went on Degu, but Degu just about turned round at time. Maybe heard the decloak, but really clutched. We see the Uber is actually forced by Poi coming from the side tunnel, but so many players go down for Feila, I don't think they're going to be able to contest this third point. If they are going to have to go for it, they have that Uber advantage now, but still a lot of players down. No Joe, no Poi, no Lilypad, and no BB.
Yeah, I was going to say, this is a crucial moment for them to decide. If they decide to push here and it goes wrong with that Uber ad, that could spell curtains. But they're playing the safer option. You know, just looking at the time, it's taken, you know, just over 2 minutes for these first 2 points. So this is really good pace from SDCK. But the final 2 points is where you can get a lot of damage. A bit of spy-on-spy action there as Mezzo takes down Axio. Layla still with 100% Uber though, nice and safe with the rest of her team around. Kuroi really the only one who's peeking as Jackie Legs jumps into this corner, gets taken down by Satan though. And now it's all going to be about how far can they get this cart up before they have to get something going on with these Ubers. And this is really the turning point of the game. Wherever this goes, as Joe goes down!
Sunburn in a hiding spot shoots him through the little corrugated metal portion there and picks up Joe from a really sneaky spot there from Sunburn. No demo is going to be a lot of cart denial removed and perhaps a good position for an Uber trade now.
Axio actually kills Clark on the point, and that's going to slow down the cart pushing. It's just May, and you know, his old Murphy gets launched off the cliff, absolutely yeeted into oblivion. This could go either way at this point. Mezzo is starting to get a couple of kills, manages to take down Kuroi, takes down the sentry gun as well. May is trying his hardest to get that car up that final ramp, but it's not going to be doing anything good with Joe spamming his stickies in that general direction. And decent enough Uber trade, but 2:25 left on the clock. SDCK know that they have to do this now or never, as they can't just sit around waiting for another Uber. They're going to start taking tracks now. Sunburn, Murphy, May, Clark, all trying to get some presence on the cart. And Feila taking a lot of damage. Big jump in from Jackie Legs. Doesn't get a kill, but gets enough damage to maybe make Feila think twice about staying in here.
They do get the cap just about, as the gamer was killed on the cart. But the cap does just about come in, and you now see the forward spawns are going to be really crucial for SDCK. Those players that they just lost in that fight have spawned instantly in that forward spawn, and now they're really aggressive pushing into this last point.
was Mezzo though. All of that was great, and Joe did a ton of damage, and you said about the respawns, but Mezzo gets 2 kills, and one of them is Layla. That means Gedu has 100% Uber advantage here, 135 left on the clock. They have to make this count. They're starting to take the high ground here. Satan is there trying to get a kill, but he can't. He just gets a ton of damage. Point will go down to Kaza. That is no heavy. Joe is on the high ground here. Lilipad gets taken down, as does the Sentry. The Uber is on the spawn right now. Then Mezzo is on the car. He's going to be blocked by Grip, but Clark is there. Clark of the season with his Sentry gun. Kaza is on the low ground, also trying to help with the car. Joe is behind. Just over a minute to go here, but only 4 alive. They're going to have some respawns here, Dave. This is going absolutely crazy. Joe is the only person stopping this car right now.
Yeah, Joe is on an absolute celebration. He wins a 1v1 with the scout, but he's taken down by Sandbo, and now Yahoo is going to play around the car. He's got the heals with him. Jackie Legs in with a big bomb. Mezzo on the cart now. Yahoo goes down. Mezzo gets juggled off the cart, but Clark is going to be there. Is there any to know? It's really up to Kuroi to hit a shot here. But the cart just about comes in for SDCK, and they take the first round.
That is round 1, ladies and gentlemen. Round 1 of potentially 3 on this map alone. Where was that game won and lost? Other than the fact that Mezzo gets the huge, possibly drop on Layla right at the end there. What went wrong for Feila in that defense?
I mean, what we saw was Joe was left alone an awful lot. He was doing tons of work on that third point to deny the cart. He was doing tons of work on the last point to deny the cart. But he didn't have the support around him, so he could get focused down. And every time he ran out of ammo, he had to back up, and SDCK were epic at getting that kind of cart time they required when they kind of realised that Joe was no longer spamming it. So they really need either a little bit more cart denial from another player to help Joe out, or just to kind of support Joe a little bit better.
2 words, cart denial. That's what Feila maybe need to take into account going into this. We play ABBA, not the Swedish band, the ADBA, meaning if you attacked first in the first round, then you'll be attacking second next time around, which means that it is going to be Feila on the defense again in the red. And this time SDCK will be attacking first, trying to set a time, seeing how fast they can go, and then Feila will be the ones trying to beat that time. And SDCK 1 round to the good. If they win this round, then they win the map, and getting a map under your belt in just 2 rounds can be quite a mental hammer, I guess. I don't know how to say it. Just, it's a mental blow to lose your map choice in just 2 rounds, Dave. But let's see what goes on here.
Yeah, we see a little bit more of a passive sentry gun here from Lilipad. We're not seeing the classic kind of super aggressive Feila hold with the heavy and the demo really far forward. It's a little bit more of a standard hold that you see at these kind of top divisions. The sack is going to come in now from SDCK, but they don't really get much. Joe does go down there. He was down to 2 health, but just about picked up by a lick of flame by Yahoo.
I would argue that's a worse pick than they had before. I was thinking it was Groundhog Day, because Kuroi got the opening pick onto Samba, and I thought, where have I seen this before? But last time they managed to get Poi down, and the teleport is down by Mezzo, but Joe could just sticky jump his way to the front lines, whereas Poi wouldn't have been able to have done that. Kuroi takes on Samba again, and Satan's going to win the old soldier MGE battle on the balcony there, so it's pretty much only Murphy and Yahoo in this Uber. Grip is just going to deny it, and Kuroi gets another kill, takes down Murphy. Joe is going to die again, maybe a little bit of spawn camping going on there by Mezzo, and Kuroi on a 4K takes down Clark. That will be ended by Kaza, who now has the freedom of the server to click on heads without fear of having it done to him. Kuroi is the only one forward here, Dave, but surely he's going to get cleaned up.
Yeah, I mean, that trade looked super good for Feila, but with them not being able to get Joe back in the action, they really couldn't contest that high ground at all. It's only really the demo and the sniper that can shoot that high ground, and once that high ground is lost, the point comes down very quick. Feila do manage to get a lot of their key clutches out, so they are going to be able to set up a decent hold on second here.
Yeah, Grip does find Mezzo, catches him out, so no picks coming in from the Spy for the next few seconds at least. A lot of players in tunnel right now for SDCK. Layla only at 85%. Jackie's going to jump in, gets one nice rocket. Murphy starts spamming. She's about 1 HP. She's running up to the health pack, does survive. And they lose May and Murphy because of that. But Layla was down to a slither of HP. And if she had died there, that would have been that point over and done with.
Yeah, that's a really, really clutch survival there from Layla. Obviously, they didn't really have the follow-up. I mean, that is a really, really long sightline that they're in, if you're going for that health pack. But the kind of positioning from Kaza wasn't quite there to pick it up. I mean, really for SDCK, they're perhaps looking at another flank play for go for a force. We do see Mezzo lurking behind a little bit, but is perhaps waiting for the position of the rest of his gamers.
Actually goes for the sap on the sentry. Kaza managing to take down Leapad, no engineer, and Mezzo basically trades his life for the sentry. So that cart can now be pushed without getting automatically shot. And you see, just like clockwork, May is straight on there, and now it's going to have to be Py looking down and not looking in the skies, which opens up other avenues for people to maybe take some space and get things done. Satan will die on the flank, and that's going to cause a little bit of pressure maybe inside tunnel. The Uber trade coming in from main, and Yahoo just getting so aggressive, forcing people towards the spawn, but they don't really get much value out of that, Dave. I mean, they barely push the car. They've got no ground whatsoever.
A little bit strange here from the SDCK combo. We're really not used to seeing this kind of uncertainty from them. Now they're deciding to rotate from top. Kaza gets a good headshot on Grip, I believe. They are getting the space now. Jackie Leg's going for a bomb, but does decide better of it. There's still good health here, though. And Dego, in fact, goes down to Axio now, so there's not going to be any heals on the top. They're just looking to see what they can get. A lot of players in decent positions here. Layla's so low. Really down to 20 health. Is going to run back to spawn. So they are just about, perhaps, going to take this. Although they do decide to back out. So there's just a mini sentry on second now, denying it right at the moment.
That's twice now Layla has been down to, you know, one shot level HP, but not being cleaned up, so maybe just needing that extra player, that extra focus as Kaza gets his pan out, manages to get the kill onto Satan. He blows himself up. Uber advantage for Layla. They are playing on a bit of a passive hold. They don't have that sentry, but Joe doesn't care. He wants to go forward, takes that Uber, but Yahoo is there, just air blasts him onto the low ground. Mezzo with the backstab onto Kuroi, so no sniper, and this is not looking good. This is what I was talking about earlier. If you use an Uber defensively, you have to make sure you get some value out of it, but all they do is throw 7 players into the bin, and Lilypad and Layla running for their lives. 2 players you would want alive, though. Lilypad can get that sentry back up on third, and Layla can retain some sort of healing for her team and maybe build up an Uber, but Gedu is the one with the advantage right now, 85%. 456 though, that is taken much longer than the first phase.
That is really depressing Uber there from Feila. They came in, it was only really Joe that was in that Uber, and obviously Yahoo with a great air blast, good position from him to deny it. But now it's CCK, they have it 100%, they're coming up to this slope. There's no demo for them there just yet, so it's going to be an Uber onto Sandburn. Doesn't look like he's going to be able to get much. He's walking through Banana now. He is just about going to take down the Pyro, but does get cleaned up by Feila's combo. And we're going to look to perhaps repush here as the cart is moving along swiftly.
Yeah, the cart's only just got up that first ramp though. A lot of damage. Just look how many weak players there are on Feila. They're getting healed up now. Oh, actually no, they're not. Layla gets backstabbed by Mezzo, and that is going to be a drop. That is definitely a drop this time around. And I honestly, as you said that, Dave, I thought they were going to use Uber and start to block third and take total control. As it is, they just throw away their entire team. They drop, and this third point. Look at Kaz. I think he's just spinning around on the cart and doing something with his rifle. I don't know, but they've managed to get that third point, the notoriously probably hardest point to push on Upward, in just over a minute, and they still have an Uber advantage for this last push as well. They're starting to get into position, and Feila, they have to play passively on their spawn now.
Yeah, you can see Joe is just set up in main with a nice sticky trap. They're opting to play this passive. Obviously, you can't really commit going under until you have that advantage. That's a crazy air blast in the air from Grip. Completely denies Sandberg. Absolutely sent down into the lower depth. But there is a lot of cart time here from SDCK. A lot of position, a lot of spam coming in. The high ground is in Feila's favour. It's Grip again with a big detonator jump, cleans up the cut. Murphy goes down to BB, and there's really no one around the cart to finish it off. Yahoo's going to get clicked up, and Feila with a really fast rotation, really smart play here. They're going to retake upper.
Yeah, I'm a little bit worried though. Layla is down to 20 HP, has the Uber, but all it's going to take is Joe dies. Layla gets forced. Oh yeah, Jackie Legs was lurking. May is going to die on the cart, trying to push. Then Apoy though, getting 2 kills. Murphy and Jackie Legs dying on a 5 kill streak, but managing to, hold on and grip. There we go, grip at BB, reclaiming that top area, getting a couple of kills themselves. SDCK maybe, and Gedu is going to die there to grip, so maybe SDCK just not in a position where they want to be, maybe just getting baited into trying to push the car, but they're pushing it now. Oh, it's so close, but May and Yahoo get finished off there. Boy and Joe are going to be the ones to try and stop that from going in, and it's getting a bit chaotic now, but for the time being it looks like Feila have a hand on this round.
Players are all over the place. Satan is in a position you'd normally want. It's a heavy. Joe's in a position you'd normally want a soldier. You have the NG up with the sentry gun playing really aggressively. I mean, we've seen Grip really come in with some clutch plays. He's now going for another detonator jump. We saw him week 1 making big plays on this last point, and again he's now going for a really deep flank. There's a little bit of catch on. It's been, the cart alarm has been playing the whole time. Looks like they're just about going to get it, but it's 8 minutes and 25 seconds.
Yeah, in the end, they just it's a bit of a war of attrition. Jackie Legs jumps in, takes down Layla, the sentry goes down, and Mezzo was just chilling on the cart there and got the cap time with the support of his teammates. But 8:25, a couple of minutes slower rather than we saw earlier on, and based on how fast SDCK had in the previous attacking phase, probably about 3 minutes slower than what they did. So Feila learning, adapting perhaps to what they've seen SDCK throw at them, and now it'll be down to the red side to see if they can come up with some ideas to stop this W from Joe as he's just going forward. And it was a very fast round, and they're definitely going to be thinking, okay, we're under pressure here. We have to really not make any mistakes on this defense.
Yeah, I mean, obviously 8 minutes is much more kind of on the slower side for the top Prem level. Obviously, as you go up the divisions, it gets faster as players are more able to do coordinated aggression. We are going to see SDCK here do the kind of standard hold they're doing. The sentry gun's nice and far forward. Maybe even see Kaza going for a sneaky play straight away. He's just sat in main now. But I mean, Feila, really their first push didn't really work last time. They didn't really get a sack play going. The trade was really bad for them. This time Layla's coming out immediately, so they're going to go for a trade, CJ.
Yeah, they just want to go in, they just want to try and get these Ubers out of the way and then DM afterwards. It's all going to be about who has the better control, but actually it's kind of the SDCK. They take down 4. Jackie Legs on the respawn now. Layla very weak in kind of no man's land, and there we go. Mezzo doesn't even need to get the backstab, he just goes for the shank. Takes down his former teammate as Joe tries to go in, and Sandbird is just on the cleanup crew right now. Takes down player after player after player. Only casualty right now is actually Kaza Axie managing to get a pretty big pick. And that means, there we go, Joe's out of the spawn with his team, and they just want to go forward and try and take some space because they know that Kaza is not alive, will not be back in the action for a while, and they don't have to worry about getting headshot.
Yeah, no Kaza. Oh, Mezzo goes in and gets the and gets Poi as well. That's crucial picks from Mezzo. It looked really bad for them. They had no sniper to contest, but Mezzo comes in again with clutch plays for his team. I mean, he won them the first round pretty much, and it looks like he's put them back into this kind of second round now.
They managed to take down Gedu. Like, Joe took down Gedu with the spam, I think it was, and, you think, you're on the defense, you don't have any heals, just keep your med alive and you're okay. And then we seem to just keeping her back to the wall right now. And this first half is let me try that again, shall I, everybody? This first point is proving a little bit more difficult for Feila as Mezzo gets another kill, takes down Kuroi this time around, and Mezzo and Kazo are just kind of teaming up here and just picking people off one by one as Kazo gets another throw, and Grip is now down, and they just cannot catch a break here. Axio trying to go for more of the same, but cannot get anyone, gets piped there by Murphy, and time's ticking down. 2 minutes off this first point already.
Kazo is absolutely activated. We do see, I mean, Axio, when he killed Kazu in the first time, obviously when you got the heavy super far forward, he can't be on playground to deny the spy going for the sniper. In fact, we now see BB pressuring the sniper out, and there's going to be an Uber trade against Sunburn, getting lots and lots of that Uber. A little bit better position here from Feila now. They've really taken the high ground, and they haven't lost quite as many players. But the spam comes in, and lots of players down. It's just a little bit of a scrap.
Yeah, it's hard to know what's going on, really. I was watching Mezzo as Mezzo was just on the flank, takes down Lilypad, and then manages to survive, and then gets another kill with the revolver, just not giving any time, waiting for the perfect pick, just going for those big, just constant kills. Kaza is dead though. Kaza dies to Lilypad, the sentry is down, the dispenser is down, and even the teleporter is down, so Clark has a lot of work on his hands to try and rebuild here, and Feila currently on the cliff, 5-10 left for them to go. Mezzo gets put out this time, so he will not be getting Layla. 100% Uber for Layla. Getty was at 99 just as it takes over. Uses it onto Murphy to keep his teammates alive. Lilypad, Grip, and Satan all going down, so maybe SDCK can hold here, Dave, but they don't have a sentry. It's just getting very scrappy, and that's the way that Feila like it.
Jackie Legs does pick up Joe though on the flank. He was a little bit alone again. It's really interesting from Feila. They're opting to really use these trades as much as possible. That's a little bit unexpected. It does mean that the snipers aren't really able to open up as much position for them, as they're having to shoot at Uber players so much. But I think Joe really fancies going for the trades, and oh no, we see Layla go down to Mezzo again.
Samban is so aggressive. Just getting forward and just gunning, took down Layla down to 4 HP, and when she got away I thought she's going to get away, she's going to heal up, it's going to be fine, but no, Mezzo is on the lurk, manages to finish her off. Joe, Satan, both on the respawn. Kaza is dead for another 10 seconds or so, so maybe this is an opportunity for some space. Samban is still so aggressive, as is Murphy. By their powers combined with a bit of help from Yahoo, they take down Poi, and now Feila are really struggling to even get up this round. Samban is just shooting people. Grip and Kuroi are the next on his death list, but he does die, and they're going to have to use the Uber onto May, but Murphy is there to take down Layla, and that's criminal at this point. You can trade the players, but keep your medic alive.
Yeah, the force came in, but Layla was so far forward there, she got caught out. I mean, SDCK, they had a slow time on when they were pushing, but they're just so aggressive on this second point. They evacuated quickly to get onto this second point, and then they're just completely bullying Feila so far. We're now down to just over 3 minutes, and they haven't even capped second yet.
This is still very doable. Let's not forget that the first round we saw some very fast attacking phases, especially from second to third. 3 minutes is plenty of time. Layla very weak again though, and it's just this aggression from Sandman. He's in the same spot, and he keeps getting kills. Takes down Joe. Boy, will be wise.
Layla again.
Oh no! Tell me it's not true, Dave. Tell me.
I'm afraid it is. We see Layla just eat a little bit of spam from Murphy again, and every time Mezzo's in the perfect position to capitalise, finish her off. And now Degu 100% again. They're going to have to get a force, and then they're going to have to win the fight, and then they're going to have to push the cart, and it's down to just over 2 minutes.
Feels like they're just going into the same place and they're losing the same players, although Axio with the backstab onto Murphy, and the force comes out, using the Uber. They don't have Jackie Legs, he was on a 7 kill streak, he's been taken out of the equation. Sandburn's pretty weak as well now, is going to get cleaned up, so maybe this is the opportunity as BB is lurking behind, trying to hit those shots onto Kenny. He's dancing around, picks up the little health pack, and will survive, but no, Joe with the pipes! That Iron Bomber will land squarely at the feet of the medic, and maybe this is the opening that they've been waiting for. Layla, during all of that, died, but will have an advantage of about 10-15 maybe percent as they're pushing here, but it's still a big ask from them to get to third to last in 1 minute 30.
Jackie Legs is just about fighting BB on the... BB does about win it, so they are going to get some good cart time here. As you say, we're down to just over a minute now, so Feila really have to get a move on. I think we're in the realms of only just about possible if they get a super clean push. Layla does have a little bit of an Uber advantage now, but SDCK are nicely on this third position. The gun is going up from Clark now. Everyone's in position. Kaza gets Joe, So really that's a lot of kind of aggressive potential out of Feila now. They are moving the cart nicely, but the clock is really against them.
Yeah, it takes about 45 seconds from third point all the way to last, so that may be the moment where it ticks over to GG territory, and we'll be looking at this map going in the favor of SDCK. But after that first round, seeing how we can take a look at what Joe is going to get with this Uber. Does take down Kaza. Counter Uber does come in. Mezzo lurking on the car. Oh, he gets the backstab and falls into the pit as he does it. I think he'll be happy with that trade. He seems happy in the chat. But SDCK, this is just padding logs now, really. Gedu's even doing the taunt, which heals his teammates, but you have to stand still for that and you get sniped, which I think is the classic weakness of taunting in order to do anything in TF2.
I really didn't think that Sunburn needed any more padding logs. I mean, he absolutely dominated that round, both on the second point, and we saw obviously that trade, which wasn't super consequential, but a good trade coming out on third. I mean, he got a ton of frags that round.
That round could have gone to Feila's way. Let's take a look at the numbers, Dave.
But yeah, we are now moving on to the second map, which is going to be Vigil.
Vigil it's a payload map again, so we're going to have more cart pushing, more cart defending. If you're just joining us, this is the second map of the ETF2L Highlander Season 23 Grand Final. This is, of course, the Premiership division, the two top teams in Europe going head-to-head. We have in one corner SDCK. They are the defending champions, and they just won upward 2-0. They'll be going into this map on match point, essentially. Whereas Feila eSports, the top seeds, they have to now win their opponent's map choice to stay in this grand final. Otherwise, they will be tasting defeat again. Both of these teams have been in grand finals many times. These players will have been in these situations where they've been a map up or a map down. And this is where mentality and strength of mind, Dave, come into things. Do you think Feila, do you think Joe is going to be rousing his troops and keeping their heads in this map?
I really, really hope so. I mean, I really hope that Feila have kind of got over this mental block we've seen in previous finals. They did lose that first map, but Feila, they really have to believe that they can win this. They've shown that they were super, super close with SDCK kind of all throughout the season, and even at times on Upward, they really, really did scare SDCK. I mean, to force SDCK into an 8-minute time, that's kind of rare. So we've got to bounce back from what we saw in that last round, and I think they really feel that they can probably do this. Absolutely.
Honestly, that first map could have gone either way. If maybe just a couple of things had changed on that first round, who knows what could have happened. But they'll have to put Upward out of their minds and focus on Vigil here, as it will be Feila pushing in the blue. They'll be attacking first, trying to set a time, and SDCK will then be beating it. And this map is still relatively new to Europeans, and this is the hold we've been seeing teams do, a very passive hold on first, almost like Swiftwater, where you essentially give up the first point. You just try and get some spam, get some kills, slow down the enemy team, waiting for their medic to come out. Mezzo is lurking around on cart, just telling his team where players are and what the state of play is. Maybe making a play onto Layla here as she drops down. She's spinning around. He goes for the stab, but just gets put out by Grip. So close. And we'll be moving on to the second point now.
Absolute mirror in what Axia's doing. He's now going for the sap. There's kind of a lot of information. So perhaps a sack player is going to come in. Grip gets aggressive. They are barreling over this hill now. Lots of damage down, but they do not yet get the force out of Degu. Well, he's in a position, but he's really, really weak. He is going to get cleaned up. That was an attempted sack play, but it didn't quite come off.
They got a lot of kills, but they also lost a lot of players. I feel if they had traded less players, based on the picks they got, they could have just dry pushed it, taken an exchange, taken the space. But SDCK have the high ground here. Jackie, Murphy, Yahoo all doing it, and Joe wants to come in. They use that Uber, they're flashing a lot here. Even Mezzo gets a flash on the side of SDCK, just to try to revolver down some gamers, and then gets back into position. Sapper onto Clark Sentry, but it is kept safe and sound. And now he's trying to put some pressure onto the car, but There we go, May and Samba combined. And that means the top isn't quite washed. Yahoo gets taken down. Murphy is very, very weak, and this is the problem when you take your attention down onto the cart. You are missing one of the other areas. But in the end, it works out okay.
There is space on top for Feila, but Kaz are getting a crucial pick on Joe, just about saving it for them. Again, it's a little bit of one player's going in and getting picked up, but now the bomb is coming from Satan. Deku with a really, really nice serve gets out of there. But lots of space. The gun is just about up. If they can take the gun down, they will be able to push it. The gun goes down now, but there's no one on cart to finish it off.
See, this is the thing. This aggressive sentry I really like from Clark. This is where, you know, I prefer to have a sentry on this map because you get that aggression on all angles on the map. But in comes the Uber. It's going to be traded here. Yahoo's just going to push people around. They're pushed into this barn, not really having much space to do anything with the Uber, but likewise, SDCK just don't have the control over the high ground anymore. Sambo's starting to get a couple of kills. Gedu is technically still in here. They have to be careful. Kuroi is trying to scope and go for a shot. Joe goes down to Murphy. Layla goes down to Murphy. And it's just getting very, very scrappy. And it's only the second point of this map.
Murphy bringing in his inner flank play there. Comes round, completely sandwiches them. They were stuck in a god-awful position there, Feila. Their combo was on the third point in the locker room, completely trapped in there. They'd had to go past the spawning enemy SDCK players to get in, but now we see a lot of space on hill now for Feila. They have all the high ground they require, and it looks like SDCK are not going to be able to contest.
Yeah, Layla gets backstabbed by Mezzo. Axio did get a good pick on Gedu though, so both medics taken out of the equation, and by the benefit of that early med pick by Axio, Feila will capture this second point. Over 4 minutes though, he's taken them for the first 2 points. It's not what they'd like, and Mezzo kind of clawing his team back into this round by getting the response kill onto Layla. And it's just interesting to see the way things are happening. Every time Feila seems to get some sort of advantage, a player from SDCK comes in with a big pick that equalizes things out. Sambun is so aggressive here. He's playing the furthest person forward and just trying to catch people out and combining with his teammates. But he does get taken down by Joe, who also took down Mezzo. So Joe really being the spearhead of this attack, trying to take some space on this third point, which notoriously you can take a lot of ground, take a lot of space before you actually have to use the Uber.
They're just putting the heels on the cart here. There's really no one to contest with Sunburn. They're caught in a slightly odd position out, as you say, aggressive. You usually see him kind of really on the corner so he can back up. Joe caught Sunburn out, separated from his team, and they just capped that for complete free, really.
Yeah, they just kind of go forward. You didn't even have to use the Uber, and Gedu's used his over here. Layla still has 100% in the back, so she can use a huge advantage on her team now. Jackie Legs is the furthest forward, just trying to get some spam done on that cart, slow them down a bit before the combo decide to come in with their advantage. He'll get taken down by Axio with a nice backstab. Roy now trying to take a peek for anyone who is daring to push forward, and SDCK here could have their final 2 points capped very, very quickly. Feila just need to seal out this Uber push. It's going to be Yahoo pushing Joe away, trying to make some space, but he'll die for the cause. And Koi is coming in. He will get cleaned up by Sandburn, but he has done so much damage and taken so much space.
Lots of space here. They're not quite into the spawns yet. In fact, Joe is locking down that left spawn. He is going to get shot by Clark, but there's really no one to like up. Jackie Legs above it. Does come in crucial rockets there. They've had so weak. There's a mini sentry just peppering them down. I think SDCK just about going to hold on here. Looks super close. You do see a bomb from Satan going for the cart rather than the frag. The Uber comes in, just about saves it, and looks like Feila are going to scuttle out there, but they do get the force.
Did you see what Mezzo did? He like assassin stabbed like 2 players on the cart. He just jumps from the ledge, kills 2, and stands on the cart so it's not moving, and then that's when Clark and Jackie Lacey can come in, and you know, they're the real damage dealers, start cleaning up the players. He's just getting so many kills at the right time. You know, he's not just going for the big picks, he's just keeping players alive. I say he's not going for the big picks, he gets Layla now, and that is going to be a huge advantage for Gedu. And SDCK start to venture forward. Kaza daring to walk forward and take a peek, does get BB. So a Feila now so close, now have to regroup and try and think of a new plan to try and dislodge this Uber out of the hands of Gedu and get this cart back up that ramp.
Yeah, the cart has rolled back now, so it's no longer on the precipice. We do see Feila now, they're opting to go through the flank. Layla goes down though, picked up by Castle. You're peeking that side. I mean, she would have got cleaned up anyway because the Uber has come in from SDCK. They can use that free, but knowing that they will still have a very, very slight advantage here. What do you see?
Yahoo getting a reflex kill onto Satan. I mean, it's a reflect kill. It's always amusing, but it is what it is. Don't peek sidelines. We're both medics here, Dave. You know not to walk into sidelines, and I feel it's a dangerous game, and Feila are taking risks right now that they shouldn't have to do. They could just regroup, and the cart is still very, very close. Just regroup and don't take any massive risks. You're at a good time on third. Just try and get onto fourth and see what happens. But it feels like they just want to barrel in, even when they have a little bit of disadvantage. It's not working out well for them.
They've now opted to put their own sniper Kuroi into that kind of extended Silonacy. There are a few things open for him. Tegu is peeking it occasionally. Sunburns right there, maybe even Clark. But there's a little bit of spam coming in from Jackie Legs just to distract him a little bit. He hasn't been able to open it up yet. If he gets a pick, they might be able to. But they're just going to go straight in with the Uber here.
This is not a bad trade. They've got the Ubers out of the way. They're going to have some decent respawns coming in now. They just need to keep some players alive. The kill on Kuroi is going to be pretty detrimental for them because they're not going to have that access. And look at Samba and Katsu. They want to be forward. They don't care that there might be a repush coming. They want to be the ones to hold them at that line. They don't want to play passive. They want to take the space. Kuroi is starting to peek forward now, but he's just getting spammed with flares, with stickies, with rockets. It's just so hard to take some space here. And Feila now maybe trying to take this far side, going on the flank route again, but Jackie Legs is there all too wise, takes down Joe, Boy goes down as well. It's almost like a meat grinder right now that Feila are just running into, and they're just taking so much spam, it's hard for them to get anything done.
The cart was moved a little bit. Layla had to peek super aggressively. Every time they're stuck in this main on this low ground, SDCK are putting absolute damage down on them. They can't stay there comfortably for any period of time. They're probably going to have to rotate through a flank at some point. We do see Satan's one. The Uber's going to come in now from Feila. They are getting a little bit of position. A couple of players get dropped here. No Sunburn for defense. No Yak. Jackie Legs down now as well. A couple of frags traded the other. So with the cleanup now, the car is being moved. Just about going to be taken here. But that is 10 minutes and 3 seconds.
I don't want to be that guy, but pushing last on this map, I always thought it was one of the easiest last pushes on payload, because the way you can get the car up so far for free, all you really need to do is take a trade and then just push, because your respawns are so much better and so much you will get players in the action faster, and that's exactly what Feila just did in that final push. And it worked out well for them. The problem was before that, they kept going into these weird angles or sending people into different places and losing 2 or 3 players. So when you take that Uber trade, the ensuing fight is 6 versus 9 instead of 9 versus 9, you know? So if you stop losing players before an Uber push, the Uber push actually works out better for you. A 10-minute time is not anything you want to see when you're pushing in payload. I always say if you reach double digits, you are not going to be very pleased with yourself. But hey, it's a new map, right, Dave? This is the first map in the season. You said SDCK lost on this in the preseason. Maybe Feila have some interesting defensive strats that are going to work out well for them.
There's always opportunities for some funny stuff to happen on a new map like this. And we are seeing a little bit of a funny hold here from Feila, at least brief. There are players kind of on this aggressive flank, doing this kind of aggressive hold on this grass area. You are really under threat. The sack's coming, Murphy's going for Layla. And, Layla just about holds on. I don't know if that was a reflect there from Grip, but Jack Legs couldn't quite get the second rocket off when he was super, super close to Layla. They do just about hold on, but these players have got to be worried, and they've also got to be worried of a pyro flying in and perhaps airblasting them off that cliff.
Yeah, I'm seeing. There we go. There. Okay.
Oh, yeah. That's a drop.
Are you psychic, Dave? Tell me the lottery numbers for the weekend. As soon as you said that, in comes Yahoo with the jetpack, and it's the fadeaway pipe from Murphy that's going to land square in the face of Layla. That's going to be a drop. Not what you really want to do on the first point. Like I said, most teams have been playing this point very, very passively, playing behind the fence, not taking any risks, slowing down the push a little bit, spamming the cart, but definitely making sure they have an Uber and set up the second. And as it is, SDCK are going to capture the first point with a full Uber advantage, and they'll be able to take that onto second with only about a minute and a half chalked off the time.
See Dego, one of the furthest forward players here with Sandra. Looks like they're just going to push from this main area. Big bomb from Jackie Legs and picks up the sniper. Jackie Legs still behind. Layla's trapped in. Finishes off. Layla from Jackie Legs. Really, really big bomb from him. And complete and utter catastrophe there for Feila. They were caught in. They could not escape. Getting sandwiched from behind as the Uber came in from main. And now just only got 3 players up.
So it's kind of just, right, restart, try again, because now Gedu has that Uber advantage. I would feel on this point, the fact that it takes so long to cap until you can really contest. You see how long the cart is going to be pushed until there is really any action happening between the combo players. Feila could have just sent players forward to try and get the force onto Gedu. Backed away, played really, really passively. If they get the force, they get the drop or something, then fight the point. If not, back onto third and you're in equal Uber situation. Risking your entire team like that is not really a smart idea. Gedu just ticking over to 100%, but Layla only about 60%. Sandburn is going to be the one to lead the charge. Jackie Leg then is going to take a jump to try and get into a better position here, but actually this is not a great Uber coming in from SDCK. They've got some ground, they may get the point, but Boy being so aggressive gets 1, 2, maybe gets 3. Just chasing now, standing on the cart, saying, if you want to push this cart, you got to kill me. And May's going to do exactly that, but Feila holding on here.
Yeah, there was a really, really clutch arrow there from Layla onto Jack. It was not an easy one at all. He was fully moving as he was spamming the cart. He went down super low, the arrow comes in. But now we just see them lose a couple of players. They don't have really the players in position to fight it. Joe's going to go in with the Uber. I don't know how loaded he is. Really good position there from Yahoo. Oh, he cleans up everyone. That's such a good defense from Yahoo. Perfect positioning. Denies the Uber, cleans up the players that go behind, and he gets the car as well.
We talked about this on Upward. If you're going to use an Uber aggressively when you're on red side, you need to make sure that you're going to kill the medic. You need to make sure that you get enough kills and your own med survives. That's the worst thing to happen when you don't get the medic. Your med dies and you have to restart back on the next point. Get it with 100% now. It seems that this has just been the case for all of the points. Still over 6 minutes, as again, Samban is going to be the furthest one forward in this Uber. Satan goes down. Not many other kills happen. The Sentry will go down, but then May comes in. Down comes Joe. Everyone else is starting to take space. Kaza wins the sniper versus Roy there. And then Gedu doing this thing that he loves to do, the taunt to try and heal up his team, and they start going for the push now. They're just getting kills, Dave.
It's just absolute barrel of players, all 9 of them stacked on the cart with that taunt coming in with the amputator. I mean, it wasn't really fancy, but it was brutally effective.
Not fancy, but brutally effective. Defensively, Feila made too many mistakes and they just couldn't recover from the mistakes. They weren't just small mistakes like a couple of players feeding or whatever. This was having a medic in the wrong place, playing too aggressively when you're an Uber disad. Apparently Clark didn't die during the entire round, so just chilling on his sentry on the defense and pushing the cart on the offense, that's the engineer life. And SDCK are now on match point here, Dave. Win. This is still not over. There is still a lot of TF2 potentially that could be played here. Maybe SDCK a little bit overconfident. We'll have to see as we are going live now. This is the second round. So SDCK 1 map to the good. Feila losing their map choice Upward, and now on to SDCK's map choice Vigil. SDCK have quite comfortably taken that first round. Is there enough in the tank here, Dave? Can Feila come back from this? Can they mount a comeback realistically? Can you see something happening here that is going to make them turn things around and take it to Steel?
They're definitely capable of it. I mean, we've seen all season how impressive they've been. They've had their backs against the wall a couple of times, as we've said, and they've come back from it. I I mean, it's going to be tough for them. As long as they're in an okay mental state and they're not tilting, this is Vigil, it's a new map, so, you know, they'll feel that it's definitely possible for them, but they are, again, opting for this kind of weird forward hold, and I don't like it personally.
I have to agree with you. I mean, part of me would say, you know, they would have looked at how easily they got, they didn't get forced, they got dropped. Karoi killing Sunburn at the start of rounds is currently, I'm feeling Groundhog Day here, it's deja vu. Every time it's always the opening kill. But yeah, I feel like maybe they would have learned. Oh, great! Oh my word. Jackie just gets deleted from the server though.
That was an insane airstrike as he was launched up by the sentry. I don't know how much was skill and how much was luck, but it certainly looked super, super impressive. I mean, Jackie Legs is in again now, trying to get some damage down. He does get cleanup, so not quite enough here from SDCK on these sack waves. Layla does have the dispenser armor this time, so maybe that will be crucial.
That dispenser body armor can be very, very helpful, but it's not enough for Joe or Karoi. Your demo and your sniper are two players you kind of want to have alive when you're defending the cart. But Mezzo's lurking, has been found out by Boy, and it does look like Feila are backing off here. They don't want to contest first anymore. They're leaving the sentry and also leaving Poi. Poi is hiding in the sentry. I'm going to see what kind of shenanigans Poi is going to get up to. He's found Mezzo! Oh! Is he going to take that trade? He takes the trade with Nezzo. Yeah. Layla can not worry about getting backstabbed for a few more seconds, but much better than last round, definitely.
Yeah, it was smart of them to get out when they lose those key plays. We are going to see an Uber trade come in. They don't really get damage in. B does go down. A couple of players behind, Yahoo behind. They get position on the cart here now. SDCK Decker's kind of really, really bad position. He goes down. I don't know how that quite happened, but he was caught on a roof. We now see a pause coming in because Kazarok has disconnected. Analyze this kind of snapshot that we have. We're just going to have to see what happens. In fact, they just both decide to back out. Jack Legs and Murphy, and Kaza goes down. So, yeah, nothing happened.
Nothing happened. Layla didn't take any damage. He's actually back to full HP. So I'm glad we spent that like 10 minutes hyping up whether or not the med's going to die, and then everyone on the server decided that they didn't really care about killing medic because, you know, I don't know. But we'll see. We'll see what happens as the car is slowly rolling back now in towards that tunnel. Murphy's trying to spam over, but Layla with that Uber advantage now. About 30%. Jackie comes in for the suicide. Lands a nice rocket onto Layla actually from that angle, but the reflect from Yahoo will take Satan down. These pirates are denying these rockets left, right, and center right now. Huge pipes from Murphy takes down Joe and Karoi with the same pipe. And that's really going to open things up here, Dave. I don't think Feila can stay in for much longer.
No, I mean, Poi is dropping back, looking to get out. They are going to pressure through cycle up. They do have the Uber advantage though, so Feila did manage to get that out. They're going to have to wait 6 seconds for the sniper and demo to spawn. The Uber is coming straight in on Jackie Legs, going really deep, but Layla does a really nice position from her. I think just about surface it into spawn, but they are going to get the second cap here, SDCK.
Yeah, I mean, they can just take the momentum now. You know, we saw a very, very fast time from them first time around. They can just try and push this third point. The third point was where actually Feila got their best amount of time defensively, so we have to see how that works this time around. But Feila definitely performing a lot better than they were before, at least on the defense.
Yeah, they look a lot more solid. I mean, Layla staying alive is obviously a big thing for them. I mean, 3 minutes for the 2 points, perfectly good, perfectly acceptable from a defensive point of view. And they do in fact have that slight advantage on Lily. They're only very, very slight, so they're probably not going to be able to go for an aggressive Uber from it. But we now see SDCK opting to go through the flank.
Yeah, look how much card time they've got already. Joe finally takes down May, and Sambo is going to get finished off. So those two players who are really just pushing that cart as far as it could go before it reaches that ramp, which if it doesn't reach the end of that ramp, it will tumble back down to the bottom. And that's what Feila are relying on, as we see Lilypad running that Eureka effect, just getting players around, building a teleport, destroying it. So teammates can get ammo. That's it's just, you know, 5-head strats coming out here.
Uber comes in. It's a big trade here. Boys gonna go far forward, trying to clear up. Joe's now absolutely rampaging down the hill. Grip does go down, but lots and lots of frags in Feila's favour. A little bit of fighting around the cart. They're looking to just barrel it. Clark's really, really weak, going for a desperate cap. He doesn't have the support of his team right now. They've got to deal a little bit with that level 2 that's just set up in main by Clark, that they have to worry about. And now the repush is coming in here from SDCK. They do get the cap down, and we see Sunburn going really, really aggressive as Feila decides to opt to go back to the last point.
See, that's the issue with playing the way that Feila did there. They had some really good exchanges. As Jack, nearly another reflect air shot into the skybox there, not quite, but they played so aggressively. Poi took down 3 players, but then died for it. Those 3 players had 3-second respawns, while Poi had a 20-second respawn. So going for trades when you're on the defense, you want to keep your players alive, and that's what makes it hard. As I think Kaz is on the Huntsman right now, tries to fling an arrow around the corner, but Kuroi is holding the angle. Does die right now, but manages to take down Kaza before that, so no sniper for either side for the time being. Satan actually dropping the card really well there, getting a couple of kills, and just buying his team a little bit more space and time as the Uber is used really, really early by SDCK, and this defensive unit is going to be so much better. They take down Sunburn, and Gedu is caught in the air, will get finished off. Another reflect there kill by Grim onto Clark this time around, and Feila holding strong on this last point.
Getting an absolute mulch with the counter Uber there from Feila. We saw SDCK, they were waiting around quite a while to do that put, and I mean, it wasn't really an inspired push, they just kind of Ubered in and hoped for the best.
And we can get a decent time here. 4:53 for the first 3 points is pretty good, but it's not as fast as SDCK did previously. So Feila definitely looking stronger on the defense, and maybe we'll be starting to learn a few things going into the next phase. But there's still lots to be won here, and Gedu dying, it's only about 25%, but it is an ad for Layla.
Pause comes in. Obviously, with Kazarak on that Huntsman, it kind of reduces one of your options of taking the wide angle with the sniper and playing slow like that. So really kind of stuck in this main or this red room area to try and push from there. I mean, it's difficult to peak really with any of the game. They can't really get any damage, and Poi's going to have the superior positioning whoever takes a fight to him. So they might just have to go for these desperate trades, or perhaps a sack play.
Let's see what happens. Sunburn peaks and takes like 350 damage to the face. Like, nope, I'm out of there. Don't want to go there again. Joe peaks, and he takes about 200 damage. So, at the moment, people who peak get punished. And there we go. Joe is the one being aggressive. He gets an arrow through the forehead for his troubles, and that is going to be the catalyst to make SDCK go forward and use this Uber, but it's a better Uber for Feila eSports. Haven't got any kills, but both plays the furthest one forward and does die. And then Salmon coming in, takes down Grip. Layla takes down Satan as well, takes down Joe, gets 5 kills alone. Once again, Gedu is using the taunt to heal his team, and they push it in. And just like that, Dave, the round is over.
Yeah, that was absolutely clinical from SDCK. They took out Joe, they decided to go instantly for the Uber trade, and what really went wrong there from Feila was Layla was able to flash all the players, but Poi just took way too much damage before the Uber came in, and he was so weak. I think he was down to about 100 health as the Uber faded, and he was just easily cleaned up. By Sunburn just comes in at the end, has a little bit of a head glitch coming in from that angle. Cleans up the weak heavy, and Layla's then got no one else to heal, goes down herself, and they would just barrel on the cart and win it.
Yeah, they got that. Well, we talked about whether the Huntsman was actually going to be effective. Kaza getting the opening pick there onto Joe and taking the demo down and having him out of the fight for 10-15 seconds is big enough to take that trade, just take the space and yeah, win the DM fight afterwards. And by the time Joe respawned, it just wasn't enough. So 7:31 is the time. Feila eSports have to try and beat that time. They set a time of about 10 minutes the first time around, I think it was. So they have to go 75% faster at least. Otherwise, this final is going to be over and SDCK will be crowned champions. Feila just have this phase to try and beat beat the time, keep in the round, keep in the map, and keep in this series. And again, SDCK deciding not to hold on the cliff, not to have an aggressive hold, and play passive, but passive isn't good enough. And so it's actually going to be Kuroi getting a pick onto Murphy there. So SDCK already deciding to hightail it out of there and go on to second.
We now see Joe opting to go behind, perhaps a little bit of a Joe zone play here. He comes in with a big bomb. It's well coordinated, but don't quite get enough damage down on Degu. He does get killed by, I think it was the sentry gun. So they get the cart. They're really far forward here, SDCK. They have to be perhaps a little bit worried about the cart, all players coming through either of the tunnel exits. They're really far forward. It's unexpected, to be honest.
It's a risky business, but the conch comes out from Jackie, and he is going to get his team moving fast and healing as Joe takes this Uber. It's going to take down the teleporter. It's going to force Gedu, and actually Samban and Yahoo there just getting juggled around. Can't really chase. Yahoo will get cleaned up, and Samban is actually pretty weak. Has to back off into a better position here. Nice reflex there from Grip, just holding down, but no. Sandburn, Mezzo getting the backstabs, and it's an absolute crunch. Later down to 4 HP. No, cleaned up by I was going to say, who was it? Of course,
it was
Mezzo.
Yeah, it was a really long range revolver as well. He didn't really chase Layla down all the way, but she's so weak. He hits a really precise, almost sniper-like shot at super long range. And now we're going to see a 80% Uber advantage, or 70% Uber advantage for Degu. They're really aggressive again. You can see it's really difficult for Feila to get in here. Soldier's going to get levitated. Degu drops low! Big play from Joe, comes in with the pipes, cleans up on the damage. That's a drop, and now it really opens up. So many players down, just 3 up for SDCK, and now the momentum is completely swapped.
It's absolutely huge, but I have to give the credit to Satan there. Jumps in, hits the first rocket, and the second rocket, even though it was from a distance, was a direct onto Gedu. And Gedu didn't drop balls of steel, but then Joe came in, hit the pipes required to get the drop. And that's actually really going to open things up here. There we go. Joe taking down the sentry. Kuroi takes down Yahoo. Clark running the Frontier Justice is going to get some revenge crits into the face of Grip. But it's looking pretty good for Feila right now. Equal Ubers after all of that chaos, but they have the second point with about 4.5 minutes to spare.
Degu's building so much better now, though, that he actually has a slight Uber advantage over Layla, which is kind of insane to see. They're going to be on this third point. Kazarok's still rocking that Huntsman. Joe's gone quite weak down, but all the players are now in this kind of locker room area to go through the flank. Jackie Legs comes in with the force, with the con, jumps out again perfectly for him. So good soldier play. The Uber comes in. Degu's only just having to use him. It's a much better Uber. It's completely faded. In fact, they're going to chase. Layla's actually gone underground and now stuck there, but is there anyone to finish it up? No, we're going to see the counter aggression come in. The Uber fades. Feila now getting forward. Poison on this part here now. He's on the corner. He kills Sandburn. He wins a 1v1. Oh my god, Yahoo absolutely levitated in the air. Spam is coming down. Players cleaned up. It's absolute chaos. What happened?
They tried to push and it was a good idea, but Joe died straight away. They kept pushing, but they just didn't have the damage. And then after all of that happens, Mezzo just walks in behind and takes down Layla. So, absolutely crunch there. But if they just had maybe one other player with a bit more damage, they're trying to go again. Murphy is actually down here, so this could actually be a successful push. Yahoo get cleaned up by Poi as well. Poi is just sitting on the cart and, you know, tanking those heals, but just taking names. Anyone who's trying to stop him.
Degu, and Grip picks him off. It's probably going to take down Clark as well. So how? There's just 2 up. It's Mezzo and Kaza up. They've got to be aware of where Mezzo is. I don't quite see him in the server right now. But in fact, we see a conch coming in. They're going really deep. This is absolute swagger here from Feila. They're going into the spawns. Joe has the right spawn locked down. SDCK opting to repush from the left. They're super aggressive on this flank side now. We could get Joseph going for it, but he is quite weak. All this time though, the car has been moving though. SDCK, they haven't been comfortable. They're not in the kind of solid, comfortable hold we've seen previously. They're stuck in this left side because in all kinds of spam, and the cart is moving all the way. I think they're going to cap it.
It's going to be done. It goes in the hole. I mean, I have to say, I was watching. Look, Kuroi got like a 360 headshot quickscope onto Mezzo, and I thought that was great. So I was just enjoying that moment, and then I realized Feila had this huge Uber advantage, all of the players in the ground, and they're actually going to get their first round in this grand final. It's not going to be a clean sweep whitewash coming in from SDCK, and we're going to have to go to a third best of 3, remember, on each of the maps tonight. They're going on to a third round here, and Feila still in this, Dave. They're still in it.
But, I mean, Feila have got to be feeling good. I mean, we've also got this kind of slowdown as well with the snipers being changed.
Kazarok also left the SDCK roster. Of course, this is going to be third round, so the team that had the faster attacking phase will decide, and it does look like it is Feila deciding on this third round, deciding round of Vigil, that they want to attack first. And it's going to be SDCK in the red defending. The winner of this round, well, could decide all manner of things. If Feila win it, then we'll be going on to a third map to decide the winner. That is going to be CP Steel. However, if SDCK just look at that as a bit of a blemish and win this round, they'll take it 2 maps to 0 and be crowned champions again, defending their title. Different player in the server is, of course, Redlix. He is replacing Kazarok, who I believe has been having issues, and they have Redlix coming in. So stepping into a grand final, like you said, Dave, no mean feat. We'll have to see how he fares. Defending first, maybe a little bit easier to settle into, just hold those angles. But again, this passive hold coming in from SDCK, they like to just sit back, keep their players well protected, and just slow down that cart, which I think is the more common and preferred thing to do by a lot of teams that play this map.
Yeah, this is the hold you kind of classically see kind of from North America, where this map was first played. They kind of innovated this, the Americans. I mean, for Redlix, this is a big deal. I mean, I looked on the roster, I couldn't find him, so I think it is a merc for him. He has, like I said, he has played with SDCK a lot the last couple of weeks, whenever Kazarok has been unavailable, and we do in fact see him on the sniper rifle. So he's replaced Kazarok, but also opting for the sniper rifle rather than the huntsman.
Does get a kill there, opening his account in this game, taking down Poi. But Yahoo got sniped by Kuroi, and things just kind of settle down. Like I said, playing defensively leads to this kind of swift water first scenario, where you just kind of chill and you back off to second, and this is where the real fun begins. And as we see Mezzo getting a kill there, backs that one to Satan. Uber's going to be traded here, and again it's better for SDCK. But it does look like the repush might want to come here. Redlix is down for another 15 seconds. So Joe might want to lead his team and start getting Kuroi a little bit of space here, as he's starting to peek the angle. Does get a bullet into the face of Jackie Legs, but it does not enough damage, and Joe is down to 3 HP. Has to...
So with lurking there, picks up Joe, sees the weak health. Do you see May going in for an aggressive play here? Gets a little bit of damage down on Layla, but Layla does survive. They're honestly just milling around a little bit here, Feila. They don't seem confident pushing off Uber, and I mean, they open it up a little bit there. Joe picks up Sandburn off Space Knife 1. Conch coming in now from SDCK. Are they going to go for a repush? Uber comes in now for Feila, because Layla went quite low. But there is really good positioning here, but Mezzo gets 2 crucial picks.
Yeah, but the drop coming in onto Gedu there, the headshot from Kuroi takes down Gedu. They were just holding on to the Uber, but if they'd had the Uber, they would have just easily have crunched them there. But that pick is so big from Kuroi that in the end it ends up being pretty equal. But Feila still have the positioning, and there's no Redlix, there's no Mezzo to worry about, and they already have the high ground. Oh, but Redlix! Clutch pick onto Layla, but the cow mangler from Satan comes in and takes down 2. This is absolute chaos right now for SDCK. I don't think it'll be able to hold on for much longer. Joe does go down. There's a lot of weak players here for Feila, but they are going to capture the second point.
Yep, they're going to get the second point. I mean, Degu does get out with 30%. It's only got Clark. I mean, that is a little bit of building the Uber. Obviously, not going to be completely optimal. The spawns are coming in, so they are going to get a third hold here. But yeah, Feila, they just took the space that was off. They lost Layla, but we know that Feila are very, very competent and just going for these aggressive plays without a medic. They did get the cap down. Now they're pushing into third.
Satan goes down there and Layla gets backstabbed. Yeah, Mezzo, he is always lurking behind. Not only does he get the kill, but he lurks away with 2 HP. So he survives. Redlix is going to win the Cypher battle there against Karoi. This just aggression from Feila is being punished. Sandburn just being that kind of rock in front, and even though he dies, everyone else cleans up and get the kill. I mean, even look at Clark. He's just chasing, getting some shotgun shots away before realizing, okay, I've overstayed my welcome, back up to the sentry and reposition. Satan lurking in this underground area, taking a fight with Jackie Legs, and actually getting the better of him for the time being. Has to wait a little bit, eventually will lose out on the fight. But Kuroi decides to try and take this far side now, and it's just going to be a big fight.
Yeah, it's a bit of a mess here. Do you see Layla coming up on 100%? The Uber's going quite deep, going to clean Poi up. But Degu's gone down to a headshot somewhere. I didn't quite see exactly where that was, but Kuroi was stuck over on that flank for an inordinate amount of time and picks up Degu. Crucially, but Mezzo again on Layla. Layla's gone down so much to Mezzo, and that was a drop. And now we're going to see them completely clean the cart up.
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of things going on there. The pick onto Gedu, May was on the flank and cleaned up 2 players. Satan was trying to go for the charged Calmanker shot. Didn't really get the shot onto the sentry, so he was cleaned up. And again, Mezzo coming in, getting the drop. This is starting to look like that round on upward where, you know, Layla was dying a lot to players, and you know, the aggressive defense was working out well, and it seems to be working out well. Not very many players left alive for Feila, but Layla is safe with Poi and Joe, and just waiting for those respawns. Maybe based on the respawns waves, they can mount some sort of aggression here. They're going towards the far side. Jackie Legs is there, and he'll be telling his team, this is where they're coming from, but let's make sure we're in a good position to hold this. Ubers are basically even. It's a nice headshot by Kuroi there, takes down May. Redlix is on a 5-kill streak, will take down Satan. There's a lot of players dead. Mezzo is dead actually, so no clutch backstabs onto Layla this time. Redlix with a 6-kill streak, and it looks like Feila just aren't in a position to push. They use an Uber, but it's not going to be a great one, Dave.
No, it looks like a decent trade here for SDCK. They do get Murphy, but they don't manage to save Sunburn on the cart. Layla goes down, Redlix with a long-range snipe onto her, so we're going to see an Uber advantage again for SDCK. They're really fighting this out on the cart. It's an absolute meat grinder in May. Idipa's just about moving it up. Everyone's committing to it. Axio gets a backstab and gets the power. Degu's now perhaps caught out. I think he is going to sneak out of there just about, but crucially just about enough spawns came in from Feila. They get it down. I mean, 5 minutes 50 into the last point isn't amazing, but it's competitive right now, and Kuroi's going for something, but we're going to see a last push soon.
Kuroi's been hitting some big shots so far this game, and he really needs to get a big shot here. Getting on the 80%. They're going to have to do something to remove him from the equation, or just wait that little bit longer before they get up to the full charge, only at 50% right now. Again, Jackie Legs and Murphy just throwing themselves on the car, doing so much damage on the cleanup, and this aggressive defense is working out well. Kuroi gets a kill there, opening pick onto Jackie Legs, but Redlix is going to get one onto Satan. A lot of players dying. Poi and Joe both taken out of the fight. Murphy aggressive, taking damage, but will live to fight another day for the time being, and this is where the fight struggled for Feila in that first round. It's a crit, it comes in, it takes down May, Redlix, Murphy, the counter Uber comes in, but a third of the team is taken out by Joe, and that initial sticky, the repush is surely going to come in. Yahoo takes a ton of damage. Can he win the Pyro? Pyro, he has to try and stay alive here and take some space for his team, but Feila are just barreling in. Layla gets backstabbed by Mezzo, but I don't think that's going to be enough. We see an extinguisher kill onto Gedu there by Grip, and surely that's going to be enough for Feila. 7-22. And Dave, the crits comes in, and for once, it works.
Wow. I mean, that caught me by surprise. It definitely caught SDCK by surprise. They were not expecting the crits there. I mean, Feila went down. I mean, it wasn't like a classic kind of crits position where both kind of medics go down at the same time and you can build an advantage. It was kind of a weird position where SDCK did have the Uber ready to face that crits, but that crucial alpha sticky came in from Joe. He placed it perfectly, got 3 kills I think with that first sticky, and with that SDCK were not able to contest that last point properly.
I think it's actually a really smart idea to do it, because you force the enemy medic and you get the chance of getting kills. If he doesn't get any kills there, I don't think it works. But the fact that he gets 3 kills, any kills, those players are in the respawn queue for anywhere between 10 to 20 seconds. And if you're the defending team and there's, you know, your teammates died to crits and you hear the call for the crits, you're going to use Uber and try and keep people alive. And then they just repush based on the numbers. Really well played by Feila there. And they really do have a chance now of staying in this tie. They have to defend this map for 7 minutes and now 15 seconds. If SDCK push it faster than that, they will be champions once again. But if they don't, then Feila will be taking us to a 3rd map, and that's CP Steel, and that could go anywhere. And again, Dave, it's this forward hold coming in from Feila.
Yeah, Dom Thomas christened this the cringe hold, but so far it seems to be working okay for Feila. I mean, they got really early denial on all the players they needed. Joe does go down to Redley. He's really on fire. I mean, he looks completely warmed up. I don't know if he was maybe doing some Kovacs in the meantime, but he is hitting absolutely everything right now. But you know, Joe is spawning now. Perhaps he's going to get spawn camped by Mezzo. Oh, he does get a sticky jump away. Mezzo was going for the cheeky spawn camp, but the Uber's coming in.
Yeah, the Ubers are being traded here, and SDCK were the ones to take the initiative, and Feila are quite happy to just sit there in this forward hold. And what looked to be a very shaky hold first time around is now looking to be difficult to break down. Although I say that Joe and Boy both taken down by Sandberg. He is walking forward. He's still alive. He's going to take down BB as well. He takes down the Sentry. He takes down Satan. Nobody can stop Sandberg right now as he's just plowing forward. Layla survives. Does have a bit of an Uber advantage, but this is so... Okay. He takes down Layla as well.
Through the flank. Yes, Sandburn, in fact, getting that goal, I think there's some damage from Clark. Sandburn is just beasting right now. He's holding W, he's holding mouse, but he's on the heavy. I mean, it's slow, but it's absolutely inevitable how he's coming forward with all this damage, all these kills, and they've locked him out of 2nd. They're going to have to go back to 3rd. They've got a fierce Sandburn right now.
He didn't play last season. I don't think he's played for the past 2 or 3 seasons, at least not on heavy. But in Poker's absence, he is back, and he is, well, like you said, he's beasting on everyone right now. He is just walking forward. He has no fear. Uber is going to be using him. He takes down Point. Grip is taking a lot of damage. The Sentry gets cleaned up there by Jackie Legs. And this 3rd point could be unlocked, but no, Axio just floats in there, takes down Gedu. And looks like Feila may have stopped the push and just chill out on 3rd for a bit now.
Yeah, the pick classes came in crucial there. Karoy got a good headshot onto Murphy, and the spy came in. Axio from behind cleans up the medic. So, you know, with no demo, no medic, it really kind of stalled the push here. And Layla's coming up to 90%. They are a little bit more passive though. SDCK were much more aggressive when they were playing in this main. So May is able to push the cart a little bit, but they perhaps do have this information that they're going to come from this flank area.
Yeah, pressure on the cart here, but anyone who pushes the cart is getting a face full of damage, and the Stickies take down May. Satan is killed on the flank, maybe giving a bit more space for Jackie Legs and Red Legs to get something done. But no, Karoy is going to take down Jackie Legs. Sandburn is now the one to try and take the mantle of pushing that car. Mezzo takes down Karoy, so no sniper. Maybe now some chance for Red Legs to get an angle. 4 minutes to go here. There's still plenty of time in this game, but it could go either way. We've seen fast and slow time so far today. Boy, is the heavy now to get aggressive and start to try and deny that car being pushed, but Jackie Legs just can't get around there. He cannot jump around the corner. Again, Sandberg goes forward. Again, he goes down to the Stickies. The Ubers are going to be exchanged, and what happens here could decide whether this 3rd point goes down or not. Pyro's trying to do things And it's Yahoo that goes down and Grip that survives. And again, Dave, this stat point proving harder to crack than it has been so far in this game.
Yeah, a couple of frags here from SDCK, but no real positioning. They're just going to have to put the heals onto the cart. Stacking lots of players on the cart, but obviously they can eat all kinds of damage if you go there. I think they are just about going to get it here, SDCK. Desperate. In fact, that was clutch there. BB coming in, blocking the cart. Surely the spawners are going to come in, but BB is getting absolutely tanked. Spawners do when Murphy touches it without hitting any damage. They just about get it, but it's going to be 3 minutes for this last point.
It's a lot of time to play with, but there's a lot of time for the cart to try and get into position before it's really pushable. Junkie is already in, just launching in, trying to get something done. Redlix gets the kill onto Poi, so no heavy for 15 seconds now. And Gedu actually has 100%. Layla is only at 80. So there is a chance for them to push it. I'm not sure if they're aware of how big their ad is. Layla just wasn't building on the retreat. But SDCK smartly waiting for the cart to get into position. But they aren't going to be able to catch Layla out this time. She gets that Uber just in time. But Grip gets dropped out of that Uber. Murphy gets headshot by Karoi. This is looking pretty good for Feila right now if they don't use too many more plays. But Dave, they are 3 down.
Yeah, Jackie Legs wins that kind of MGE battle there. I mean, it was a really close quarters in that red, but now we're seeing Daegu using the amputated taunt again. The damage is really, really good though from Joe. He's absolutely raining damage down on the main. I mean, the amputated isn't going to heal that up, but good cart time from May, but not really enough players in position here for Feila. Are they going to go for a committed reput? They're just kind of waiting a little bit now. I mean, the time is down again, and again because of the amputator, Layla this time has been building slightly better.
Oh, the reflect kill onto Satan by Yahoo, and Joe went down to Redlix there, so Soundbank's gone down. Like you said, the amputator means they haven't been building as well. I got 1 minute 30. May's going to get on the car here, maybe take some attention away from the rest of the place. The Uber's going to get used, but there we go. It's going to be used onto Yahoo now. He's going to chase all the way into the spawn. Nobody's pushing the cart though. May is trying to get some cap time now. In comes Yahoo. There's so many players dying. Poi takes 3, 4, 5. He's on a 7 kill streak right now as he takes down Messer as well. It is absolutely carnage, and the car has reached the top of the ramp. But Feila have more players alive, and they have their medic. And with those heals, they can hold on.
That was absolutely clutch from Poi. Going behind in the Uber. The Uber was forced out just due to the cart time from May, but they forgot about Poi. Murphy was going locking down the spawn. They had players on the... Poi comes in from behind, backstabs them, cleans up absolutely everything. And they're so weak now on Feila. Do have good positioning. Stacking players on the cart from SDCK. Axio comes in, gets a pick onto Murphy. Kuroi picks up Redlix in the sniper 1v1. Again, it's just the heals on the cart. Sandburn's on it. Committed defense here from BB. It's absolute melee on the cart. It just really commits to it. Down to 15 seconds now, CJ. Take us away.
I have no idea what's going to happen. Gedu survived, but he only has 60%. They have to get on the cart now, and Feila know that. They're putting all of their damage onto the point. 5 seconds to go. It's 4v4, and it's going to be Feila who somehow hold on to it. They're going to reverse sweep the second map, and we're going to go to Steel.
Wow. And wow. That was crazy. And now we're going to go to a decisive Steel game.
Both teams taking their opposition maps. Will it be the defending champions, SDCK, who won the first map upward 2 rounds to 0? Or will it be the top seeds, Feila eSports, who won the second map, Vigil, 2-1? Both teams winning their opposition chosen maps. I'm CJ, joined by Dave, and Wiethoofd is on the production. We're about to go live on to Steel. This is our third and final map of this grand final. The winner takes it all. Of course, it is another best of 3. You can see the rosters on your screen. Slight change from the beginning of the match. Redlix has come in to step in for Kazarok on the side of SDCK, but the rest of the personnel are the same. Dave, what do you think is going to happen on Steel? Who is looking to be the top dog at the moment?
I mean, you've got to say the momentum is with Feila, but obviously the history and, you know, the mental kind of mountain that they really have to get over if they want to win this. We've seen Joe come close so many times, but really got to feel that this time it's got to be the time frame, surely.
Is this the one that Joe finally wins? Like I said, it's nearing 7 years since his first ever Prem Grand Final. Would it be CP Steel against SDCK that gives him the win? It is going to be SDCK on the blue first. They'll be attacking. We'll see what kind of strategies they pull out. Both of these sides like to do AE pushes. Feila are going to be in the red. They will be defending and then trying to beat the time. And whoever wins each round, best of 3, could be here for a while yet. But I'm expecting some faster rounds as that A point goes down, as it always does. That's the brass beast on point.
Yep. He pulled this out in season 20. Thought maybe it was me. He's going to get rushed super hard here. Interesting play from May here. The bug, he actually wins the fight. There's just not enough health on point. They don't get the teleporter down there. So although they have control of top, they can use this teleport if they want to. Got to be a little bit wary though.
Yeah, that teleporter can just instantly get Py back onto the high ground, and the Uber is going to be used here. Much better Uber for Feila, but she only has Koroi to use it on, so not what you really want to see coming out of your medic. That teleport does get cleaned up by May. He remembered. Here, an NS in chat there from Koroi. Clearly Jackie Legs did something cool that I didn't catch, but the B point will go down fairly quickly here for SDCK. Only really took one push, and they actually do have a little bit of an Uber advantage here, Dave. If they're aware of that, then they could really push on to C with some gusto right now.
Yeah, I think Layla have no one to use the Uber on, and also no one to build on the way there. I can't imagine they're too aware of this Uber advantage, but we have seen SDCK have been super keen to just get these aggressive Ubers. They don't necessarily get as many frags, as much damage as they want with the Ubers, but they do get a lot of positioning, and they're really confident in their post-Uber positioning. They are opting to go through this slow door. The hill Py cleans up with the massively advantageous position there from the heavy. The Uber's coming in, so perhaps they were aware of the advantage here, but they're only going to get Py with the Uber. A little bit of space, but I mean, Feila were really cleanly out to C there. It's now up to SDCK. Do they want to commit to the C push? Do they want to get some cap time on E?
Yeah, losing Samban there wasn't great, but they could have done a little bit better. But they solo Uber onto Yahoo, and he just gets launched into the skybox by the minigun. So the fact that they don't get much done there, but it looks like a BC fight right now. Uber used by Layla, and they're just kind of red licks with the headshot onto Joe. Now they're trying to force their way and maybe get something done through the connector as the concha is going to be used. No, actually, no, that's not the concha, that's the battalions. And Jackie Legs is in deep onto Paul.
Yeah, Paul does clean him up, but there's a lot of space now on C. Murphy's going to lock down the spot. He might even catch out Paul. Yeah, May takes him out. In fact, chasing Layla into spot. She's going to rotate onto the D point, but they're not going to be able to contest C. They're going to have to worry about the D point and also the E point. Their flank is in nicely positioned with a sentry gun though. Yeah, sentry gun for Clark as well, nicely in this main. So this is kind of a very standard kind of position we see. It's up to SDCK whether they want to go back through main or the death corridor, and they're opting to go back through main.
Oh my god, Jackie Legs just launches himself in, takes down the U-pad and the sentry. Koroi died earlier on, 20 seconds on the respawn for the engineer. He's going to get forced. Layla just managed to get her Uber, but look at Yahoo. Doesn't have the Uber anymore, but just forcing Joe into a position he does not want to be in. And he's ready for the Reaper's Mezzo. Just the perfect timing, as always, to take down Layla. And she's in the respawn queue for 20 seconds now. The frags are coming on the side of SDCK. They've got some count time on E. It's looking good. They have to wait for these respawns, Feila, before they can maybe mount a repush on the side of E. But it's looking pretty good as Grip actually pushes Samban into the pit. Maybe that's the opening they're looking for, Dave.
Yeah, they go for a repush from behind here. Jackie Legs gets onto Joe. Isn't able to clear up. Just about cleans it up now. It's a lot of cap time on E. The boy is in position with the heals. Is he going to be enough? Lily Pad going for a crucial defense there. Py is so far away, but I don't think it's going to be enough. They're going to walk onto the cap point. It's just about ticking over now, and that's 4 minutes and 24 seconds. That's pretty quick.
I don't think it's. You've seen the Matrix, right, Dave? You know, when they try to shoot the bullets at Neo in the first one, and he just dodges them all. And so did the Aegis. Now, that's what May was on the point. He didn't have the bonk on, he was just dodging like everything. I think he was about 5 HP for, half an hour there, it felt like. He was just getting the cap time, nobody could take him down. Other players were coming in, just body blocking, knowing that they could go forward and do some damage while their ×2 scout was getting the cap time. And that was all important, because at the end there, if players had died too quickly on the side of SDCK, it would have been all over. Murphy there, just putting some stickies up, as you can see, trying to catch some people out when they come through the AE connector. But looking at the time, 4:24, not a bad time. Pretty fast, I would say.
Pretty quick for sure. Impressive from SDCK. I mean, it was again really off that kind of solo play from Mezzo. We've seen it so much. In fact, this time we see something interesting. We see crit stickies in the white room area for Murphy.
I'm wondering whether Feila are going to go for an AE push here. They do like it. I can see, yeah, they're going for AE already. And I don't know if they're going to get the call early enough, because...
Oh my god. Is that legal? I just saw Grip do damage through the door of steel. I thought that was banned personally.
Yeah. It's an iffy situation, but it's moving on. It's going to be an AE push here from Feila. Jackie Legs can see, I'm sure Mezzo has called it as well. Actually, BB has gone all the way around to the east side and not really teasing the point just yet, but Mezzo will be saying, hey, I can see the entire team on this side of the map. You should maybe do something about it. And Joe is actually going through sewer and trying to catch people off through the grate on BC connector. But I think Jackie Legs is way too smart for that. He's been around the block once or twice and he knows the strats. And Joe just gets pushed into the pit by Yahoo. So nothing really happening, except for the fact that Lilypad has a sentry on E, and that could cause problems later down the line.
Smart position from SDCK. They commit the full combo, the scout and the soldier, to play around the C area, so it couldn't be flanked. Usually you have to worry about the soldier kind of flanking from that area, but that was kind of off the table, kind of with Jackie Legs spam able to deny it. They are getting a little bit of cap time here. I don't know exactly what happened. Possibly, yeah, the pressure coming in from B at the same time as E capped on down. It's not really positioning here for SDCK.
That's what he does. And he takes down Red Legs, he takes down Good, and he takes down Murphy as well. Jackie Legs is going to jump to try and deny, does manage to deny the point, but does not deny the sentry. And now Satan is going to jump on there with the direct hit and try and get some cap time. Just keeping that cap point alive, backing away, back to the safety of Lilypad. Now it's Grip's turn, and getting a pyro off the point is even more difficult to dislodge, but they're just taking it in turns, going on this point, and it's looking really, really good for Feila right now. They have the players in the position, they have the players on the cap. SDCK really needs to regroup and get something done here.
They've got a lot of cap time, they've got all the position they need, they even have an uber advantage. SDCK trying to repush from the E-spawn. Kuroi in a great position, something takes, but Redlix takes out Layla. I think that's a drop, but either way, that is a crucial pick. That uber advantage is down now.
That is huge. Sometimes you need a big player to step up to the plate in situations like that, and it was Redlix who did it. This is where the pause happened, I believe. And, well, Layla down to 80 HP. 19 HP is so very weak. Will get finished off. And the C cap is going down, but SDCK don't really care about that. They just want to make sure that E point does not get capped. It takes about 40 seconds from full cap. Convoy's on an 8 kill streak right now, Dave. He is popping off. Yeah, this is... There we go. Redlix is going to end that streak from Kuroi. And SDCK probably feeling a little bit more comfortable right now.
Yeah, there's just a minute left now. SDCK completely content to give up that C point. They're going for this kind of hard E hole now. All their players are stacked around the heaven. They've got their sentry gun up. There's really kind of no advantage. The Uber does come out now for SDCK. They do see them committed to the D. They only get grip really with the Uber, but there's no way of Feila getting cap time right now, and they're only at 60% Uber. A lot of players have gone down for them.
Yeah, a lot of players are going down all over the shop here, really. Redlix and Mezzo are both down for 20 seconds, so they're not going to really participate in these closing stages. But the most important thing is that Murphy is alive, and he can just keep sticking in that point. as much as he wants, and Clark has a sentry, so he's able to just wrangle them. By their powers combined, the Stickies and Wrangler are able to just deny anyone who's trying to get the cap time, and that should be it. Jackie Legs falls into the pit, exclamation mark hit in chat, if you please. But that is going to be the first round to SDCK, but honestly from there, I thought Feila had it in the bag.
I mean, it looked really, really strong for Feila briefly. But yeah, Redlix was who came in with the crucial pick onto Layla, completely turned around. Suddenly they couldn't get any more cap time. It can just turn around in the blink of an eye. It looks really good for one team, and it just completely changes.
You need the big players to step in the big moments, and we saw it in the first map, Mezzo going huge. We saw it, Sandburn. We've seen Joe. We've seen Kuroi. All these players stepping up. And this round, it was definitely Redlix with that huge pick, just really opening things up. We are going to go into the second round of Steel. Now, this could potentially, did say this earlier on Vigil a couple of times, could potentially be the final round. If SDCK win this round, they'll be crowned champions and they'll defend their title. But if Feila eSports win it, then they will tie up this map, and it will go down to one final round to decide the championship. And honestly, Dave, at this point, I don't know. It could go either way.
Yeah, I mean, even in that first round completely could have gone either way as well. I mean, Feila have probably got to take positivity from the fact they were so close in that first round that they almost got it. I don't know exactly what happened with the pause, what the issue was there, but it seemed to kind of dampen them to some extent. They're now attacking first, which means there isn't quite as much time pressure. They don't have to worry about that kind of 4-minute time, so they can do their own thing. They can decide what they want to do. Honestly, the AE didn't work for them particularly well last time, but it did move the players off B, so maybe they will go for it again.
Yeah, I feel like the AE was so close to working, but it just failed with the drop and with the kind of the reaction to that. After that, it all just kind of fell apart, and then they scrambled to try and salvage an E-push. And often you find on Steel, if your AE push doesn't work first time around and you don't get a major pick, then scrambling to fix it is just going to cost time, and that's exactly what it did. That AE point goes down though in just 19 seconds, as always. Going to be a nice fast one, and it does look again like it's going to be an AE push here from Feila, getting everybody into White Room, getting the NG over to the far side. Jackie Legs fighting. Okay.
That was a crucial pick again from Mezzo. I don't know if Joe bumped him. He seemed to feel something, but Mezzo would just decloaked in the corner. Just perfect timing as Layla walked past. Would have just about seen Mezzo in the corner of her eye, but the backstab comes in, and that is a drop, and Degu has 100% Uber.
100% Uber, and doesn't really need to use it right now. They have Clark Sentry, they have Sandburn in this BC connector. Feila haven't really got any 1 point, they've got no point presence, although Sandburn and Redix both going down is actually a pretty huge deal, because that's two players who are very, very good at denying the point from a distance. They're now getting some cap presence here. A lot of players shooting in that general direction means you can't stand on that E point for too long. Lily Pad Sentry though, and the teleporter does need the respawns, and the support is coming in, but SDCK, I think this time they're in a much better position than they were before to defend this.
They also have the option of going with this Uber when they want. Degu does get forced. I guess it was by Joe. He often jumps through that B area. Get forced. They're not really going to get anything from that, but they do manage to force Feila off the cart. They're actually opting to go straight back onto B. They're obviously predicting something coming out, and I don't know if they're psychic or they have warhacks, but they seem to be aware that Feila have opted. They're now going through the drop down. But Axio with two big picks onto Murphy and Sandburn. No combo now, and so lots and lots of space on B for Feila.
Yeah, that's really, really big. Layla very, very weak though, down to 50 HP, and she's actually not in the fight right now, but I don't think Feila care too much about it. But she's been left alone. Oh my word, Axio comes to rescue. And again, Mezzo almost revolvering down Layla and getting the kill there, which would have been huge. She has 100% Uber. Getty's only at 80% here. So they have to play this C point a little bit passively. They're not playing on shelf, they're not playing in connector. Murphy says to his team, they are coming. And they have to be careful, but Grip runs in and it's kind of like, okay.
That was so smooth for Murphy. And now they're going to opt to go for the Uber. No one again. Neither of the Ubers getting in. Oh no, but Layla's left alone in the banana. Gets cleaned up by Yahoo. He's going to spawn camp the teleporter. He gets Lily. They have control of this connector now. There's not going to be any cap time on E. Oh, I don't know what happened to Feila there. Where they just kind of completely separated. I don't know if they were completely spooked by the Uber, but Layla was left alone and got cleaned up.
They're getting cap time onto E again, but with Sandburn alive, he can just use that Tomislav to pepper them down. Paul on a 5-kill streak though, still lurking around towards C, and Joe is still in heaven. Taking a 1v1 with Mezzo right now. No one really wins. Joe just kind of stays sitting up there and holds the ground, which I guess is a victory for him. Mezzo goes in for another try, gets right into his face, just cloaks away. But Point actually catches out Sandburn. He's going to start getting aggressive here in the BC connector, and this is where the cap time starts to add up. Times 3 on the point. Feila looking like they can just chill here for a long time.
Over here for SDCK though, Murphy going deep. He's going to try and clean up the place and put off, but now he has to start shooting the point because it's so close to being capped. Murphy goes down the pit from Poise somehow. There's all the spawns and all the cap time here. Crucial headshot from Redlix to deny the cap a little bit, but Grip is on it, and it does go down, and it's 4 minutes 18 seconds, basically the same time we saw in the first round.
See, that's the potential of the AE push if you kind of do it right. Honestly, I feel that the Uber that came in there onto Murphy would have been fine if they hadn't fallen into the pit afterwards. They cleaned up the point. They tried to regroup and they just fell into the pit. And when you have your fully Ubered medic and demo falling into the pit, it's kind of hard to recover from that. And Feila were just able to stand on the point. They sort of had all of their eggs in that one Murphy Uber basket, and they just had no one else to defend the point. So now SDCK are in this situation where they say, do we do what we did before, or do we try and go for an AE? What's our strat here? 4:18 is a fairly fast time, but it's deceptive because on steel you can go very, very fast, or you can get stuck on B point for 6 minutes. So we'll have to see what their choice is. I mean, do you think SDCK are going AE here? Do you think that's what they're fancying?
I think they'll at least fake the AE push and perhaps go from drop down. I mean, as we say, 4 minutes is a fast time, but it's not a time where it takes any options off the table. They still have the option of, going AE. They could go ABE, or they could do the full Alphabet push just about in time, as long as it goes cleanly. So no options are off the table here for SDCK. But they are taking a lot of players out onto the A point. But Degu is back in spawn right now.
Yeah, actually, they're jumping back. I would have expected, my prediction was to go for like an AE, but then a bait down into drop down onto B push. That's kind of something that would be SDCK style, but it looks like it's just going to be a straight up B push like last time. Again, Poi, this time not on the brass beast, takes that Murphy and Jackie legs before finally getting finished up, but that teleporter is down. Yahoo also gets cleaned up, so that's the entire combo just kind of being deleted here as Sandburn goes in, takes down the sentry gun. Maybe that's just the trade that they wanted to relinquish the high ground from Feila and take down the sentry, and maybe take an Uber trade off of that.
Feila very, very aggressive here. They cleaned up all the players except 3. I mean, they weren't able to get the foresight from Degu, who was playing nice and passive, but they completely won the DM fight there. Now we see a really bad Uber coming in from SDCK. It's just on the heavy, on the low ground. I don't know. Murphy's down as well. I don't know if he got dropped. Feila have all the position here on B. So many players down for SDCK, and they have no position whatsoever.
No, and that sentry playing on the corner of the point just denies anyone really taking the space. They weren't able to spread out with that Uber, and the counter Uber just crunches them. I think Murphy just got wrangled by the sentry there. So, not looking good for SDCK right now. 2 minutes 35 seconds. They have to try and get this final push, and it looks like it's going to be an AE attempt to get players on the point, and it's all going to be down to this one doorway. Who can hold it and who can deny it? The sentry is there, Joe is there, Mezzo just charges in. There is going to be battalions, it seems, and that's going to attack a lot of damage, and Joe goes down, Layla goes down, the sentry goes down.
So many frags, and obviously the battalions means the sentry gun can't do as much damage. The Uber comes in now into the connector. It's really backs against the wall from Feila. Just 2 up. Not much cap time, so they are probably going to get spawns in time, but one of the spawns is getting camped. They're going to have to... There's already cap time, and B, Jackie Legs can perhaps potentially clean them up if they push out the B spawn. Complete lockdown here from SDCK, and they're on the point with 3x cap.
I love the fact that they're going for the B spawn as well, because that means that door gets locked and they can't defend from that spawn either. ×3 on the point, and these arrows from Geddy are keeping his players alive. BB's desperately trying to get onto the point, but he just gets pushed into the pit, and that is it. That is it. SDCK win the second round of this third map. They will take it 2-0. And Steel, Dave, it was close.
They had the mentality. They are champions by right, and we're now looking at 8 times champions. That is super impressive. Yeah, these are some interesting logs to look at.
It's been great, and as well to Wiethoofd for sorting everything out in the background, and of course to SDK and Feila for putting on an absolutely amazing show. I hope everybody enjoyed it as much as we did casting. There's a lot of TF2 being covered on Critscast in the future, so definitely follow us on social media. You can follow us on Twitch, of course. You can check out our Discord, and you can check out our Twitter, as well as all of the merch available if you want to support the production and the casting staff with everything that we do, trying to cover all of the games. But a big shout out to you guys as well for watching. Thanks, and I hope you enjoyed the show. We'll see you next time. Have a great night.
Hi, old beaver! Away!